Gentlemen, thank you so much. I very much appreciate you guys allowing me the opportunity to speak to you for just a moment. I will not be long. But I want to say first of all how much I appreciate being here, that I am very, very happy to be here right now. I want to begin by thanking the staff at DOT and the several commissioners who have been involved in the last few days. Chairman in particular, very involved in the last few days, recognizing that this is a Thanksgiving holiday and still recognizing how important this was. You rolled up your sleeves, went to work, worked so well with Charleston County to make sure that this was done right. After all, that's really all we want. We want to make sure this is done right. I'm especially happy that we are finally at this phase of realizing 526's completion. Because this isn't about this meeting today, it really isn't about can we do it. This meeting is about making sure that it's done right when it's done. There's a contract in place, the public and local leadership believe it's needed, and money is obligated, has even been spent by Charleston County based on that contract. Up until recently, there's been a lot of talk about does the area need it? How are we going to pay for it? Does the local leadership want it? Do the people of Charleston want it? Despite protestations to the contrary, all of these questions have been answered. Do we need it? Ask anyone who has driven on Savannah Highway at 4 o'clock in the afternoon in Charleston. Or ask the people who were on the Barrier Islands and couldn't get off back during the Hurricane Floyd evacuation debacle. Absolutely it's needed. 526 was always meant to be completed. This project plan started in 1970, 44 years ago. Charleston is growing at 3 times the national average. It's the 12th fastest growing area in the United States. Completing 526 won't suddenly create urban sprawl throughout the area. That's already happened, and at a staggering rate. Not completing 526 will create urban deadlock in our area. This isn't about whether or not a completed 526 will alleviate congestion issues. It will, with impressive results. Results that will make dangerous segments of the highway, of the roadways, much safer. Traffic on Johns Island's main road would drop from 30,000 vehicles a day to 15,000 vehicles a day. Traffic on Maybank Highway to Savannah River would drop from 43,000 vehicles a day to 23,000 vehicles. The EIS study team reported that virtually every road in the metro area south of the Cooper River will have lower traffic. And this isn't even getting into the huge impact 526 will have on hurricane evacuation. How are we going to pay for it? Partnership between the CIB and Charleston County. And please don't forget, Charleston County has already committed and paid well over $100 million on state roads as the county's match for this project. Does the local leadership want it? Here we are. Local mayors, chairman and vice chairman of county council, chamber of commerce leadership, even the local legislative delegation have all voiced their clear, unwavering support for finishing 526. Do you think they'd do that if the public didn't want it? So does the Charleston public want it? DOT sent out thousands of questionnaires and got back about a 50% response rate. For any of you who've been involved in any kind of polling, that is an incredible response to have come back on a mailing asking a question that speaks to how important the issue is to people. That number is phenomenal. And the results were equally phenomenal. Despite what you've heard, and no matter how the folks try to slice it up, it is overwhelmingly yes. Affected residents along the path supported at a rate of 70%. 60% of the folks from James Island to Wadmalaw Island support. 80%, there's 80% support among African Americans. The To say the public doesn't support completing 526 just isn't true. So why are we here today? This isn't really about whether we're going to finish it. It's about who will be responsible for that construction, who will be responsible, who will have what various responsibilities in getting it done. And how will we finally stop talking and start building? And that's why I began today by thanking you and your staff for working so diligently with Charleston County over these last few months to make sure that this thing is done right. That is the decision point where we are right now. It's a clear decision point, and it's a single decision point. The road is needed, it's wanted, and it's funded. We just have to make sure that it is done right. This new IGA clearly lays out the responsibilities, and it accomplishes that important decision that must be made. I urge you to vote for it. Thank you again for all of your hard work to make sure that this is done right. But thank you particularly for the service you give to the people of South Carolina on a day in and day out basis. Mr. Chairman, thank you for your.
Thank you. Let's move ahead to old business.
Chairman, we'll brief and update you on the two parts of Act 98 money and how we're going to move forward with that. The first part is the vehicle sales tax